Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to X Marks the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Potato, a.k.a. Lewis, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. Hello, Alice.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
My pronouns are she, they, and I think it's just another quiet week, so I think we can start by saying that our last podcast episode, after we broke through 100 subscribers, our episode has been viewed over 120 times, which is this most popular episode. So how you feel about that?
Very good. I'm very happy with that. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. And we've just hit over 100 subscribers, which is also awesome. We want to beat the PlayStation guys. What are they on? They're 145 subscribers, I think. Yeah, the PS We Trust guys. We want to beat them. So that's our next goal. We're coming for you. Friendly rivalry. We like the guys a lot. But yeah, that's our next goal. So that should be fun. We really appreciate everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's watching, everyone who's liked and commented. And we really appreciate it. We have a lot of fun making these. We do these for fun. It's not our job. It's, I guess, when we do it in our spare time, and we really appreciate that you appreciate that we put our time and effort into this. So thank you very much. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So, shall we begin?
Yes, we shall. So, So where we started? What's the first subject of the day?
Well, isn't your birthday today?
Yeah, I mean, we normally record on a Wednesday, which is my birthday, but we're actually recording on the Tuesday. So this is actually the day before my birthday, but in the canon of in the Xbox the Box canon, the story, we'll just say this was my birthday. This makes more sense in the plot of our podcast and the kayfabe. But yeah, it's my birthday. I'm getting old. I'm going to be 21 for the 14th time. I'm 34. I'm old. Jesus, man. I don't like being old. I don't like being in my mid 30s. But yeah, So yeah, it's just, I'm excited. Am I excited? I don't know. It's just another day, really. But it's I always like having a good birthday. Should be fun. I'm basically having the day on my own with the family, and playing a lot of Diablo 4, probably.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm getting that for my birthday, so I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Diablo 4. Yeah, so that's probably my plans for my birthday. Maybe go see Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, because that's my favourite MCU my favourite MCU characters are the Guardians, but I haven't seen it yet, so I really want to go see it. So that's probably the top of my list. So yeah, I'm getting old. I'm sorry. My birthday. So if you wanted to add
just happy birthday anyway.
Thank you.
I don't know what exactly is going to be posted, whether it's on Thursday or Wednesday, but then should be really great. I mean, if I know where you live, I would have given you a birthday card, but probably a just simple message will be all right.
Yeah. The way you said that sounded kind of like if I only knew where you lived. It's like, whoa. My address is like everyone in the comments dox me, whatever. Is it it's called doxing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Not docking, that's something completely different. That being said, thank you for the birthday messages, and it's weird. I always get this. When it's your birthday, you always look back at your life like, what have I achieved in my life, kind of thing. You always think back, and it's just So I'm a bit nostalgic today.
That's really great. Mind you share the same birthday with Tom Jones, I believe.
I do, yeah. It's not unusual.
And you also share the same birthday with my nephew as well, so he will be turning
Your nephew's Tom Jones?
No, my nephew's of a different name. But yeah, he will be the 5th of... He will be 5 years old, I guess, but who knows?
Happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to your nephew. Send some birthday wishes to to your nephew.
Yeah, thanks.
Yay! Oh yeah, so yeah, means I'm a Gemini as well, which means I got like multiple personalities, which makes sense. I am a bit of a crazy person with
Yes.
personality. I am Potato and Lewis at the same time. I'm two different characters morphed into one. Potato and Chief.
Well, it could have been like potato crisp.
That'd be delicious. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, it's my birthday, but we've still got a podcast to do, and I'm very excited about this podcast. I'm looking at the news. We have so much to cover. Basically, the Xbox Showcase is coming up next week, and we have a lot of news dropping before the showcase, which is really exciting. I'm very excited. We'll talk more about a hype factor later on, but before we get into the news, we start off how we always start off with, what have we been playing?
Ooh. What have we been playing? So what have... I believe we've been playing like Zelda at the moment. Did we?
Yeah. I live in so like, you know, it's a fantasy game, right? I've got the ultimate fantasy done in this game. I actually own my own house. It's amazing. It'll never happen in real life.
You mean like Skyrim, is it? Like your own house?
You can build your own house in Tears of the Kingdom, yeah. It's weird though, because it looks like a load of shipping containers super glued together. So it looks horrible from the outside, but when you go inside, it looks lovely. I got a photo frame with my picture in it, and I got a statue, and that you could do like your level up your stamina and your health and stuff. And I got bed, and I got like racks to stick my swords, my shields, and my bows up on the walls, so you could look at them. And I got like a stable as well for my horse. I found the giant god horse, and I called him Jeebus. Jeebus the horse is now a part of my house. So you can just walk past. He's just there in his little. I'm going to say hutch. That's not the right word. I just said it. Stable. I couldn't remember the name. He's got a stable with hay and stuff, and he's just a giant horse that takes up like half the bloody stable on its own. It's awesome. But yeah, that's like what I've been doing in Zelda. Basically, I've just built a house, and it's like the most fun ever. Basically, I'm doing all the side missions because I don't want to finish this game. I'm like, I know I can just beat the fourth, because I've beaten three of the four main quest stories. So I'm avoiding doing the last quest story until I've kind of run out of things to do. I'm trying to do every other thing before I can do it, because I want to keep playing. Saying that, I'm gonna have Diablo to deal with from tomorrow, so I'm going to be back on the Xbox full time playing Diablo nonstop. So that's going to be fun. Trying to balance Zelda and Diablo, that's going to be a nightmare. Oh my god, because that game is supposed to be a life sake. What's it called? A no life game, a game that takes over your life.
Yeah.
Are you got any interest in Diablo or?
No, I'm not getting it. But
fair enough.
I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom this week. So,
having fun?
What I did is I played the game, went into another region of a map, did one or two temples, and then I went over where you just like try to repair the balloon. So I just went in, found out about the horses, did a side quest where I fixed up a wagon and found a wild horse. Wild horses is a bit interesting when you try to tame it and then try to take it to a shelter of some sort.
Stable, yeah.
So you get to register horses in the game, which is interesting. Then I just went over the mission where you'll find out where the Tears of the Dragon is and trying to figure out where it is. So I flew down, found a bandit outpost, tried to deal with some boglins of some sort. But yeah, just...
Hoglins, yeah.
Hoglins, yeah. And then I just like went over... Try to deal with a stone boss where I had to shoot a stone on the top of the platform. It was like, I just couldn't easily get rid of it. And then that's it. That's it this week.
So a tip with that, with the giant stone golems, you can use your ascend power and ascend through the boss to the top of him.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
That's like the best the technique for it. And then the ones with the giant eye, you're better off using what are they called? Like keys, like bat eyes. And they home in on their eyes. You just go poop. Right in the eye, and knocks them out.
I just figured that out because I thought they're basically a food ingredient, and then I forgot these are used to make homing arrows.
Yeah, and also I just found out this week that there's, I don't know if you probably haven't unlocked them yet. There's like these hover blocks, and I haven't been using them. But if you fire an arrow with a hover block at the end, it like literally makes a platform underneath you, and you can just stand on it like in midair. It's like,
oh wow,
this is useful. This is useful for like staking out areas. Yeah, I just got the Master Sword, done all 3 of the main quests, 3 of the 4 main quests. The last one I got left to do is the I can't remember what they're called now. The all-female tribe at the bottom left, the sand in the sand area. So that's the last one I got left to do, but I've done every other one. So much fun. Oh, I love that game so much. I'm addicted. Have you been to the depths yet?
I still haven't figured out.
Oh, you got to do the depths. They're the best. Have you got the glider yet?
Well, I got the glider. You press X in the air to float out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because you need the glider before you can do the depths. Because if you do the depths, you're just literally going to like smash your face on the floor while you fall in.
Yeah.
You got to jump. Basically, you got to just do a leap of faith down into a black hole with you can't see anything. So that's fun. The depths is amazing. It's essentially like having Dark Souls in the middle of your Zelda game. There's essentially like a whole other world down there. It's insane. That game is so good, Zelda. I love building houses and building like you saw on the channel. I built Beyblades, built catapults, and all sorts of stuff. That game is so good. I don't know how I'm going to manage playing this and Diablo, because I know I'm going to be playing a lot of Diablo as well when I get it tomorrow. Very excited to play that. Yeah. I got loads of friends who want to play it as well, so I'm like, ooh, yay.
Well, speaking of friends, you also been playing Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't played it as much as I should have. I haven't actually played it with so I think Davey and Phil are both on holiday, and Spencer is in the lab training. He's training his so we haven't actually had any matches of any of them online yet, which is a bit frustrating. Hopefully I'll get to play them when they come back. Fingers crossed. So I haven't played as much as I would have liked. I've completed single player for Ryu, Ken, Cammy, Blanca. So I've done that, like the arcade mode, so you get like the story start and end, like traditional.
Yeah, I was thinking because
open world as well.
There's a massive open world single player, and it does have arcade mode because it didn't came with it when Street Fighter 5 came out, and then you had to wait until the title updates to get the arcade mode. No,
this one does have arcade mode. So I've done the arcade mode for like 4 or 5 characters, and I've done a bit of the open world as well, and experimented in the big multiplayer hub, which reminds me of like PlayStation Home.
Mate. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Just gonna pause. Sorry about that. There was a package and I had to sort it out, and it's just... Sorry, I know last week the fly went into my throat and just like choked. Didn't check the depth, but now there's a package there, and there should be some instructions to deliver it in a different place without having to disturb me. But oh well, at least I got the package. Got what I wanted. Check it out. Ooh. Teaser.
What is it? Ooh, I don't know what it is. What is it? PS extensions. Okay.
And it's in pink and white.
Ooh, nice.
Looks nice, actually. I got what I wanted on the post, so it's cool. But yeah,
posts are annoying.
Yeah, I know.
So I work from home most of the time now, so I'll get like people banging on my door. I'm like, I can't answer the door. I'm working. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like, go away! I'm trying to work. or was like, we left your package around the back garden, and like bloody hell, barefoot walking around the back of the house and like on bloody concrete floor. No, or the classic one where it's just like knock knock once, and then like by the time I get down the stairs, it's like, we missed you. You'll have to go collect this package like next week from the bloody postal service. Like, just leave it outside, God. Or like post it through the letterbox. The ones that annoy me is when the package is like this big and it's like tiny, and then they still leave it outside. It's like, the letterbox, you could put that through the letterbox. What are you doing?
At least it's not to do with like ding dong ditching going on. That's annoying.
Oh, I hate ding dong ditching. That's so annoying.
I almost had like two sets of kids like doing that. There's one who like did it like about 4 times, stopped altogether, and there's someone who's going to do that, and then his friend realized there's a camera on the doorbell, so
good. Idiots.
But
little idiots.
Anyway, it's just really annoying because Amazon packages, Prime delivery delivers. The only thing is that for the free delivery, you end up dealing with the unpredictability of those things, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I think I told you this before. I think I've mentioned this in the podcast. I've stopped getting Prime delivery because when I had Prime delivery, everything would arrive at 9 p.m. at night. So I was like, what is the point of ordering stuff to come early if I have to wait literally all day for it to arrive? I just never bother it. I don't see the point anymore. And it comes earlier when I don't have Prime delivery. When I have regular delivery, it comes earlier. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I tried to bring this
the
up.
last stop on their route.
I tried to bring this up as an argument to my mum because she keeps leeching off my Prime and asks me to order stuff online. I mean, by the way, that's sorted, but I just told her about, oh, if you use standard delivery, it'll deliver on time. And then she said, like, but you don't have to pay for postage. And she thinks the postage is too expensive. I'm like, yeah, the mentality of people.
So yeah, we've gone off a bit of a tangent here. So Amazon, annoying sometimes, but you know, we are in the 25th century. The fact that we can get everything delivered to us is also kind of really useful. But
well,
I can still have it still has problems.
Our ideal future is having dehydrated pizzas to cook and some like really good
Back to the Future, eh?
Yeah, Back to the Future. Like I know that
hang upside down.
I know Shemex is just like it's not going to happen, but it's so good. But instead, we just got a bog standard same stuff. Only you have drones delivering parcels to your doorstep. Except where I live, there's no drones there. So you just have to live like in London, for instance. So
I'm on a drone.
Well, I got drones before, but I haven't been using it. So what's the point?
Yeah. But we have air fryers. I mean, that's kind of close to what you were saying about the pizza. Almost there. We're getting closer. Do love a good air fryer. But yeah, so that's our story about postage and what we've been playing. Because we were talking about Street Fighter 6 before that. Good game. Not played it enough. Need to play more. Apparently, it's breaking all sorts of records on Steam for fighting games and stuff. Being like the most successful fighting game ever, apparently, and stuff like that. So congratulations to that. Yeah. And we got Mortal Kombat and maybe Tekken coming this year as well, which also is nuts to think. This is like the year for fighting games. Crazy.
Is this so with Tekken? Isn't this something you're going to be taking the PS with it?
Taking the PS. Tekken is great. I love Tekken. I think Tekken's probably my favorite fighting game. Controversially, probably. I don't know. I like all of them, but there you go. Right. So let's move on to the news.
Wait. You haven't even gone through what else I've been playing. Wait.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you'd just be playing Zelda. Sorry.
I didn't say just playing Zelda because most of the time I spend was on Advance Wars 1+2 reboot. I haven't checked the hours there, but I spent over 12 hours. But the irony is, use game vouchers to get Zelda on the cheap, got Advance Wars 1 and 2. Turns out, been playing that one more than a Zelda game. But yeah, it's just like, it's nostalgia because I've been playing it on the Game Boy Advance, and just like revisiting some like strategies again. So it was like wicked.
Very cool.
But
I love it.
There's a couple of things that I discovered with this. When I was like doing research and looking at the comments, it turns out that one, this game is like it's developed by Way Forward, so they're the ones behind Shantae and River City Punks or some sort.
River City Rampage.
There's something like that. And
we've got a couple of River City games, but go ahead.
And also, how do I put it? The main character, Andy, the one with a huge spanner, is voiced by Veronica Taylor, who also voiced Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. So, yeah. Oh. And there's one comment that's saying it's like, well, if the fact that the Ash and Andy is voiced by the same voice actress ends up like fixing the bike and is a kind of Pokemon master who's been playing the Pokemon, I think to end up fighting in the war.
You need to do like you did that video before comparing Chai from Hi-Fi Rush and the character from Ruby. You should do the same thing with Advance Wars. Did you know this is the same person who voices Ash Ketchum? Whoa! I want to be the very best. That's my best Ash Ketchum impression. Not very good. I'm working on it. Go Pikachu!
Well, play Hell March with a lot of Pikachus there. That would be great.
Yeah, I've seen that video lots of times. It's very funny. So is there anything else you've been playing?
I think that's about it. So we can go to the news now.
The news at Xbox O'Clock.
Yes, we've got a lot of news to cover, so we're going to try and go through this quite quickly if we can. So Summer Game Fest predictions. We've got Summer Game Fest coming up tomorrow when we normally. So 2 days from now, the 8th. There's Jeff Keighley's show on the 8th. Do we expect to see anything good there? I'm thinking we might see Death Stranding 2, possibly, because Kojima and Jeff Keighley are busy mates. Maybe see Elden Ring DLC, but I don't think we're going to see much there. It might be one big thing. That's usually the case with the Keighley stuff. Is one big thing and that's it. What do you think?
We'll just recap stuff if there's anything interesting in it, because I think people will be expecting some predictions for it as well. But then again, it's just like it's a long-winded one, and we could spend hours trying to react to it. So, but I think it's best to still wait until we get some like valuable information out of it. So, beats me.
I've done reactions to it the last couple of years, and every time I've done it, it's been boring as hell. We won't react to it now, and then it'll be amazing. But it's usually really dull. As I said, there's usually one good thing. So, like Elden Ring, it was the best thing 2 years ago, and last year was a load of Callisto Protocol, which turned out not to be that great anyway. And they also really showed The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which everyone knew about and sucked. So there you go.
So how does Davey think about it?
I don't know. So I don't think we'll bother this year. I don't think we'll bother with the Game Fest this year. Say that now, something amazing will be there, but maybe. So up next, Xbox teasing Fable. Ooh, question mark. There's a video got up on Twitter that has a screen. I got the clip there for you if you want to load it up. It shows. Sorry, put you on the spot. It shows an Xbox controller covered in glitter, and they follow the line of glitter up the stairs to a screen saying Xbox conference, and it says coming on there, like stay tuned, and everyone thinks the glitter is representing the golden path that you have on Fable, and the music in the background is supposed to be like Fable music, so they think that they're teasing Fable with this. So that's what everyone's really thinking this is going to be Fable, and they haven't denied it. It's like if it's not Fable, I think they would have probably come out and gone, "It's not Fable. Don't get your hopes up." I don't think they want to get people's hopes up like that.
I think it's an announcement for the new controller.
Ooh, maybe. I mean, it's got like space stardust and stuff. I didn't realize it was a Fable teaser when I first saw it, but then ever since I've watched that, everyone's making videos and news stories about it, and it's like, oh, I guess it is a Fable teaser when people are saying that, because the music's apparently very Fable-esque, and like it's like you have like a golden path when you're playing Fable. It's like a golden sparkle you follow, but I guess people are saying like it's like the tinsel is like a golden path. I guess the glitter. I don't know. It's an interesting teaser. If it is a Fable teaser, it's an interesting one. Everyone thinks Fable's going to be at this conference now, which is exciting because Fable is probably the biggest game Xbox has lined up, apart from maybe Elder Scrolls, the next Elder Scrolls game after Starfield, obviously.
I really honestly don't know. I bought the Xbox console with Fable 3 and I believe Halo Reach as well, but I have not even unwrapped the mint packaging of Fable 3, and I think I sold it.
Wow. I got Fable 3 when I went to... So this is a deep cut. I went to this thing called Game City in Nottingham, and I bought it from the game shop in Nottingham when I was there, and played it when I got home from the conference. So it's basically like a E3 kind of thing. It was all like indie devs. It was a good fun. It was a good weekend. So yeah, that's I remember getting it from Nottingham for some reason, even though I could have just bought it when I was in Cardiff. I don't know why I bought it. Like when I bought it in England for some reason.
I went over to Bristol to buy an Xbox 360 Slim, complete with Halo and Fable 3. And I think it's in Cabot Circus. So I bought it all the way back, which I used to upgrade my Xbox 360. But that was by far like a really awesome purchase because it just means I don't have to worry about the vanilla Xbox, which is like a bit more like trying to deal with a shuffling thing. And instead you have a sick console with a really simplistic fan and does everything, which I have to say, this is the console for Xbox 360 and I love it.
I love the Slim. The Slim was such a pretty console.
Yes.
So nice. Like, consoles have got uglier over the years. I think the Slim was like the prettiest console, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah, Fable. So I played Fable 2 a lot, beat Fable 2. But Fable 1 I never played, and Fable 3 I beat it, but like that was it. I didn't go back to it after I beat it. And Fable 2 I got fond memories of, and they got the dog in there. Like, you know me, if there's a dog in the game and it's like a friendly companion, it gets a good score from me. If you kill the dog, then you get bad score. But if you're friendly with dogs, I love it. I'm a dog person, so yeah.
To me, I was going to say that. Oh, I was just forgot what I was saying, but I haven't really got into Fable, but I know that Fable 3. At least, or like Fable 2, that if you can get achievements by doing them, or you watch someone do it, and it's just like, this is like the best kind of achievements because you can just witness the person doing it, so you don't have to do the hard work for them.
Yeah, like I used to play co-op with my friend as well. It was such a fun co-op game. I'm really hoping the new one's got co-op. It was such a fun game to play back in the day. I'm excited. If Fable is there, I'm going to be very excited. Yeah, Xbox is the home of Western RPGs. PlayStation needs to catch up. We got Fallout, we got Outer Worlds, we got Starfield, we got Avowed, and now we got Fable. It's just like, damn, this is like stacked. Speaking of fantasy, should I move on to the next story?
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring. Sarah Bond is teasing Lord of the Rings, apparently. So, I mean, I want to take this with a pinch of salt a little bit because everyone's been blowing this out of proportion as far as I'm concerned. She's tweeted a lot of stuff about her favorite characters being Legolas, Xbox being like the Fellowship, and it's just basically a couple of Lord of the Rings kind of things. But bear in mind, I always post videos about dogs. Does that mean that there's going to be a dog game coming out? Just because she might just like Lord of the Rings doesn't necessarily mean that there's a Lord of the Rings game coming out, right? I mean, she's basically been posting a lot about Lord of the Rings over the last couple of months.
Look,
so people
if it's going to be Shadow of the Mordor sequel, that's fine. Because you've seen how Gollum has performed. Bad review scores, involves Smeagol going through Mordor, and it is like the buggiest and worst game of this year. And it just makes me think, like, if she's teasing the Lord of the Rings game, then if it's going to be anything different than Shadow of Mordor, then it's not going to sell. They're already seeing the nightmares with Gollum, so that's it.
I hope so. So that's a good point. But the only other thing with this as well is that there's a rumor that ZeniMax Online are making a new like MMO, and they said it could. Everyone was thinking it was going to be a Mandalorian game, and now they're also thinking it might be a Lord of the Rings game. And then there's also another rumor that they might be making a Starfield spin-off, which is going to be like an online multiplayer game. So we don't know, but that's possibly what the Lord of the Rings game could be. It could be an online Lord of the Rings game made by ZeniMax Media, which is another possibility. I would be curious. I mean, it'd be good for Xbox to get more into the IP game. Like PlayStation is destroying them when it comes to stuff like Spider-Man and all that. Like having third-party like names that people recognize, you know, like Xbox doesn't really do that. Like the closest we got is Indiana Jones, which we're not sure when that's coming. I feel like we need more movie or like, I don't know, more tie-ins to like big franchises. I feel like we need that more on the Xbox brand. I don't know. What do you think?
I think really I would prefer original franchises, but at the rate of this whole games industry thing, they're just going to end up relying on more licenses to make more games. I mean, the games industry is literally turning into Hollywood. It just means they're not going to have a lot of originality because it just comes with so many risks compared to licenses. And to be honest, it just kind of makes it so boring.
I mean, the AAA space, how many games now are reboots or sequels to games that we already know, or like they're using name recognition of like Elden Ring's probably the newest IP I can think of that's done well, but then people are like going from the creators of Dark Souls and Demon Souls. So you're using the Dark Souls and Demon Souls to sell Elden Ring, you know? But like most of the time, these are new IP is usually like sequels or reboots of franchises, you know, or relying on people knowing who the developers are. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It is going more and more Hollywood. I think that leads into the Lord of the Rings thing, right? I mean, that means that maybe that is a thing that they're doing. I don't know. I said I'm not a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I wasn't super into the movies or anything. I haven't watched Ring of Power. But yeah, I've heard this. You know, I know a lot of people love Lord of the Rings though. So if they made a Lord of the Rings game, I think it'd be interested. I'd be interested to see. As you said, Shadow of Mordor was a really good game. So
yeah, I think this one is really
pretty sick.
This one is really good, even though I haven't played it. But to level with you on this one, original trilogy of Lord of the Rings in the early 2000s, excellent. Hobbit trilogy, padded. And I've seen Rings of Power. It's not that great. No, the books are good, but it requires rereading. But just seeing the games are pretty much hit and miss. And I don't think there has been any other good Lord of the Rings game. Shadow of Mordor games are said to be really good. So the
first one was good. I haven't played the second one, but the first one I really liked with the Nemesis system. It was a bit like Assassin's Creed. We had the Nemesis systems. You had like orcs and stuff remembering you, which was a really cool feature. So you'd have someone you think you killed, and then they come back later on and it's like, I remember you. You tried to kill me. You tried to gouge my eyes. I like try to detail like why you tried to kill him and stuff. And it's cool. And if somehow they kill you, they go up the rankings and stuff like that. It's interesting. I thought it was a really cool system. Cool. I haven't played the second one though. Need to.
So let's move on now.
Move on.
And I think we should deal, first of all, is Halo Infinite has Season 4 announced. There's only like some of the stuff announced, which comes with 2 new pieces of equipment. I don't know about the weapons. There's a quantum relocator where you can use it so you can like jump back between fourth, and it's more like a teleporter where you set up an area, and then as you go through, you press a button and you'll be brought back. And I think you also get brought back to where you first activated it. So I think there's a bit of a tactical thing. And then there's a threat, I think is a target seeker of some sort. This one allows you to shoot it all the way across, and then when it explodes all the enemies there. So, but I think it works very similarly to like the threat sensor, where you just like shoot it there and just reveals everything in its radius. Whereas this one, it's like you shoot it, and I think it seeks out enemies, which then reveals their locations, and that's it. But I don't know. Yeah. There isn't a lot of difference between those two.
No, it sounds very similar.
Also that infection is announced for it. Also, at the same time, there's, of course, the career progression, which is finally announced, which means you get ranks. But I just think it's just whether it's going to be similar to the one in Halo 2, the one in Halo 5, or what it could most likely be very similar to Halo 3, where you gain levels, but you have to play well in order to get like next tiers, like Marshall or some sort.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what the tier system's like, the career system. I really want to get a career system up and running. It's nice to know what other people's levels are and stuff without having to like just guess what armor they're wearing. You know, I'm very excited for that. I think it's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if you're gonna progress it by just doing normal multiplayer. I don't know, but it'd be fascinating to see for sure. Can't wait for that. Yeah, so I'm assuming we're probably going to see that more of that in the game's showcase, or maybe the extended showcase, because it's literally coming out like 2 weeks after the showcase, or a week after.
Yeah,
so, there you go.
I think it will come. There will be more details, and I think there's a rumor that we could expect a double-barrel shotgun that has a gravity hammer attachment to it. Ooh. So we could see extra weapons like that. But if each season is 343 starting to add more equipment and weapons to the game, that would be very amazing. And mind you, Infection is a huge mode, but mind you, they already delayed features. Like the AI that you get in Forge, that one's delayed. And I think there's one or two modes as well. So I don't know if we get to see VIP until like season 5. So I don't know. I think it's definitely going to be Infection month, and it will feature Hazmat as a new core, which is already being revealed in 2 images there.
Okay, I'm still excited for it though. I mean, a new season is always great. So this is season 4. Is this like the full new season? Are we getting a whole new battle pass, or is this like a part or like part of this upgrade?
No, it's a brand new battle pass.
So I got to finish the battle pass I'm on then, because I haven't finished it yet. But
you just missed a double XP weekend.
No, Zelda, goddamn it, Zelda, Diablo taking over my life.
Don't worry, when season 4 comes out, you can still level up season 3.
Oh yeah, I will. I've still got a load of double XP, like 60 odd double XP boosts. So I could, if I really wanted to rush it, I probably could do it in like a night or 2. So not a problem.
Yeah.
Halo, we love Halo.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome things, I don't know, that was a terrible transition. Shall we talk about Aaron Greenberg's tweets about the showcase?
Yeah. So what's going on with Aaron Greenberg?
So basically, he had people tweeting at him, and he basically essentially did an AMA explaining everything. So he explained that he said that there's going to be no CGI trailers at the showcase, which is amazing. That sounds like definitely there's pure CGI anyway. So you're going to get gameplay, we're going to get in-game footage. We're going to get all sorts of stuff like that. So that's cool. There's going to be no movie or TV trailers, which I think is a direct shot at the Gran Turismo trailer in the PlayStation showcase. It's going to be a 2-hour showcase, and we assume half hour of that's going to be Starfield. So it's about an hour and a half of new games, and then Starfield at the end. And it's not going to have a 12-month window, thank God. So it's not we're not going to be seeing everything within the next 12 months. That kind of shot them in the foot when they did that last time. And you added 4K 60 frames per second. I didn't see that part. So apparently it's also going to be in 4K 60 frames.
Yeah, just to prove it's just to prove to people that there's no CGI trailers, because everything for the games will be shown in 4K 60 frames per second. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, are they going to be on performance mode only? And if there's going to be 30 frames per second, it's going to be 30 frames per second. So, I mean, it's just happened with Redfall, it's 30 frames per second. And I think there's also Plague Tale, which is like 30 frames per second. So I don't know how Microsoft is going to deliver everything in like 4K 60 frames per second. But then it could be just like 4K. Right. So...
yeah, exactly. 60 frames per second to Phil Spencer just moving, like talking in 60 frames. Like, oh, he looks so realistic. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. Saying there's no CGI trailers is interesting because that makes me think that we're not going to just get like Banjo-Kazooie 3 is coming in like text, or like I'm just trying, or like Fallout New Vegas 2 is coming in occasionally you'll just get like a text splash screen come up. We're not going to get that, I assume, if there's no CGI trailers. Right? I mean, we probably won't get any announcements of anything new. Granted, there's so much that's been already announced that that's not really a problem, really, is it? To be fair.
I think it's just like Phil Spencer or Aaron just pops up and say, oh, we're announcing that these Legos will be released along the timeline, just like with the MCU timeline thing.
Yeah. That's what I hope so. I would like an MCU style an MCU style drop would be amazing. Like a roadmap, you know?
Yes.
Be amazing. I just thought of something and I just completely got out of my back.
That's why I think we can just like wrap this up, unless we have to go through the Fantasy League. But then there hasn't been a lot of changes there. Apart, I got extra points for Street Fighter 6, and kind of still puts me on first place. Although I'm predicted that I would get loads of points. Pikmin 4 is coming out next month, and recently you can customize your character in it. So it looks like there's a lot of promise.
Yeah, and also I think I got a load of points for Diablo 4 as well, I imagine. Yeah, I'm trying to...
Yeah, I think it's in the 80s in the moment, so it's close to 90.
Big game.
But yeah, not so much.
I'm very excited to play that. Ooh, yeah. Okay, and then we have... You've added breaking news to the document, so should we move on to that?
Yes.
Breaking news!
So, it's been confirmed by Eurogamer that, you know, the Western Digital black cards that are being revealed for Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have been confirmed by Western Digital themselves.
Oh, nice.
So now, it's not just Seagate anymore. You now have Western Digital making cards for it, which means you can get them in like 1 terabyte and 512 gigabytes of expansion card, and it's going to be very good because you now have a choice of Western Digital or Seagate.
Okay, yeah, so hopefully it brings down the price a bit as well, which would be nice, I hope. So is what, 512 gigabytes of 1 terabyte, so it was what you put, right? So that's interesting.
Well, basically 1 terabyte, which is 1024 gigabytes. Yes. That one is currently is being on sale for 150 quid, which you can also get a Seagate one, which is now knocked down to 150 quid. Whereas the 512 gigabyte is at £90, which means, well, yeah, it's a bit more expensive in the UK, but once it comes out, it will be more valuable than a 512 gigabyte. Now, there's just a case where we might expect a WD black 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte to come out soon, and we could get those for cheap. So I think all we know is that expansion cards are going to get more cheaper, and this is going to be really good news. But mind you, these are not more valuable than external SSDs, and these ones are not even compatible with the latest gen of Xbox One. No, this is not Xbox Series X games. So you still need to get expansion cards in order to store more Xbox Series X and S games on it. So, yeah.
I definitely need it. I've got like an external hard drive that's not an official one, and it's not an SSD, so I can store games on there, but I can't play them off there. So it's a pain. It's a lot of Tetris moving save files, trying to make up space on my hard drive, trying to make up enough space to actually play anything. It's so frustrating.
I got external. Really well, there's two things. Like you can either have a media hard drive, or you can have one that's been formatted to put Xbox games on it, which I bought a hard drive specially for it. You can put Xbox games onto it, but if this one is like optimized or made for Xbox Series X and S, you have to move it over to the main drive in order to play it. Otherwise, you're just archiving them, saving up for when you want to play it. So, yeah, it's just a bit annoying.
That's exactly what I've had to deal with for months. So I'm hoping to get this. I'm hoping to get one soon, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Also, the WD black ones look really nice too. And also something you can easily take out. Mind you, I got the Xbox Series S, which I use, and I think having that extra card there would be very useful. But I think it would be most useful when I play Xbox Series X, and that's when the terabyte cards are really useful.
It'd be good if you can move it between the two. So if you have something like Call of Duty, you're playing it on one, you want to play it on the other, you literally just go whoop, whoop. And then you've saved yourself time copying and downloading it like multiple times, and that would be good. I think that'd be useful.
I think it would be great if you used storage expansions like memory cards. Like instead you put in the back, you should put in the front, and it'll stick it out like a memory card. And it just kind of brings back memories, because you used to think, oh, I need to save files, so I need to stick a memory card at the front, just like what I did with PlayStation, GameCube, like Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast. You plug it into the controller, but then I found PlayStation and GameCube ones to be most reliable. Even Xbox 360, you just plug the memory card into the front. So I just put them in the back, discreet, but I kind of prefer the front method because it's just what is the most practical for me.
For sure. I get that. You said they look nice, and when you said they look nice, I was about to say, well, you can't see them. They're going to be at the back of the consoles. You're not going to be able to see the bloody things, anyways. What difference does it make if they look nice? They can be bloody hideous. Who cares? You can't see them. But yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I want one. I'm still waiting for the price to go down a bit more. They still feel a little bit too expensive, but we're getting there. We're getting there slowly.
It just reminds me, though, I think we should bring back cartridges. They've been dropped in favor of CDs. Blu-ray got as far as 100 gigabytes with a triple layer, and that's for the 4K Ultra HD ones. But just imagine you have the console, and to take cartridges, that would be just as fast as a 2.5 SSD, trying to do it on the cheap. Works like as Switch cards, only it's just like compact flash or something like that. You have these the expansion cards, not too small, and then you plug it in, you play games. You want to watch a movie, you just plug these in, and you can watch movies off it without having to switch discs all the time. Because let's face it, physical media is already bottlenecking at about 100 gigabytes, whereas Switch you can store gigabytes worth of it. But instead of having to stick to a streaming or download service, you can get cartridges, and it will deliver everything at really good speeds.
Also, I was going to say, with cartridges, you wouldn't have to deal with installations or loading screens either.
Exactly.
It would just be instantaneous.
The only problem is to do the manufacturing costs, because I like to think as if SD cards, 64 gigabytes, you can get for less than £10. But then not everyone's going to say well, we're not going to be publishing games on SD cards, for instance. So
yeah. I feel we're moving more and more into a digital future anyway, which is going to be completely no discs or anything like that, unfortunately. Also, Alan Wake is not coming out they're not releasing a disc version of that. That's going to be only digital. And that's the first AAA game I can think that's just done that. And obviously all indie games are digital only as well. So it's, yeah.
Oh, it also sucks that Like, not everyone's going to have fast enough internet to download all those games, which is unmanageable for me, but I still have really slow internet, and I'm still waiting on people to like install faster broadband at my house, which means I have to cope with standard broadband speeds. And if games are going to be big as 100 or 200 gigabytes, it could take like over a day to like install that. And not only that, it just kind of clogs up my internet as well because I'm downloading stuff. So
I agree.
Because if you account that some people don't have fiber optics and the companies are supposed to deliver it, they should be delivering it. I've been waiting like over the year for mine to be delivered and still hasn't returned.
Our internet is awful in this country.
Yeah.
We need to keep working on it. And an all digital future is interesting in theory, but we're still not quite there yet when it comes to infrastructure, unfortunately.
Also, the UK is just like really behind when it comes to this stuff. It's just like they're being faffing around.
We're behind in pretty much every way at the moment, especially if you look at the CMA and stuff like that with the Activision deal and stuff like that. Yeah. Frustrating. So shall we move on to our topic of the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's time for the topic of the show.
It's time for the final predictions for the Xbox conference. We did our big predictions last week. Essentially, this week I just wanted to go over games that we know of, games that are rumored, and if we think they're going to be there or not. Essentially, it's just yes or no, and then like a little bit of discussion on each game. Does that sound fair to you? Does that sound reasonable?
I think, to be honest, with the last episode being so popular, I think it's worth like touching it up and see if we can get more people interested, because they're totally in for like knowing what to expect at the presentation, and they do not really want to settle for anything less, like quizzes or anything like that. And also, it's gone really quiet in the run up to the showcase. So yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so I'll start it off then. So these are games that we know exist. We've seen like cinematic trailers and stuff. Most of them were announced in 2020, and we don't know what's happened to them and if they are coming back or not. I might have missed some games on this list, but this is the list I have managed to come up with. Yeah, off my cranium, off the top of my head. So up first, Indiana Jones. That was announced by Machine Games. We have an Indiana Jones game. We know that it's in development. Are we going to see Indiana Jones in the showcase?
Most likely, because this has been like only announced and it has been shown out. But mind you, it's been published. It's going to be published by Bethesda. So I wondered if they're going to show that or not. But I think I would say it's 50-50, especially with the film that is about to come out at the end of June.
The film's apparently bombing as well. Apparently it's not a very good film, but we'll see.
I'm actually been watching The Last Crusade on like Disney Plus at the moment, so I think I would prefer the first three films compared to the last two.
I think everyone does. Yeah, the original trilogy is the best Indiana Jones films for sure. And I think that's what the game's aiming for. Is more like a young Harrison Ford. I'm hoping that's what we're going to get. I think it's going to be fun. Not old man Harrison Ford's barely being able to move the whip or anything. Should be fun though. I'm looking forward to it. The big question is this going to be a multi-platform game, or is it going to be Xbox exclusive? Because this was all arranged before Xbox bought Bethesda. So was there some kind of contract that they had to release this on PlayStation? I don't think it will. I think it will be exclusive, honestly, but a lot of people don't. What do you think? Do you think this could be exclusive or not?
Time exclusive, as far as I know. But anyway, it just kind of makes me think, like, just imagine, like, if you play as old Indiana Jones and you don't get to use the whip all the time, you just end up shooting people up, even if they invite you for sword fights.
Yeah, or like in the film where he's like the guy with the sword going, and he just pulls his gun out and just goes bang. Do you know that scene was improvised as well, because he was feeling ill that day and he didn't want to do a fight scene, so he just did that like that. And it's like one of the best scenes in the whole film. If you've never seen the original Indiana Jones trilogy, highly recommend going back and watching them. They're so much fun.
And they're now on Disney Plus as well, so you can see it.
Yeah. It's funny because everyone used to say, "Oh, the worst one is Temple of Doom," and now everyone goes, "No, the fourth and the fifth one are definitely the worst ones." Crystal Skull's definitely the worst one. The Last Crusade's great, and so is the Lost Ark. Brilliant films, all great films.
Now you've been thinking like as if it's made by Paramount, but if you got Paramount Plus, then you had to make do with like Transformers film, which at the moment I'm going through Age of Extinction to see what the fuss is about.
No, thank you. All right, so next game on the list is Contraband. We didn't see much about this game. It was just a teaser trailer a couple of showcases ago. It's a heist game from, I think it's based in the 1980s, I believe. It's basically a 4-player heist game. It looks interesting. Are we going to see it?
Not that I'm there of, so
question.
probably not going to happen.
No, probably not.
Could be on Summerfest, so whatever.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, it's exclusive, but it's third party, so it's gonna be interesting. Aaron Greenberg did say all first party games are going to be non-CGI. He didn't say anything about third party, so we might see some third party CGI trailers. Just going to point that one out because be careful with your wording. Right. So up next, we've already discussed this a little bit. We'll discuss it a little bit more and then move on quite quickly. Fable. The game looks great. From what I'm very excited to see Fable. This is like the biggest game that Xbox are making at the moment. I think it's Halo. Like the trifecta is Halo, Gears, and Fable, right? I mean that's the main three when it comes to Halo. When it comes to Xbox, it's like original IPs, I'm
definitely thinking it'll be on a showcase because of a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
they could just announce a controller, like I said early in the podcast. But I definitely say Fable is going to come over. So I just say, just Fable is the most likely game to pop over. So
if you asked me this 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and you said, "Is Fable going to be there?" I would have said no. But after seeing that teaser trailer, I'm like, okay, it must be there, surely. I feel like they can't tease Fable like that and then not deliver. I feel like, I feel like I think Xbox would have known that people were expecting Fable now, and they would have come out and said, no, don't expect Fable if it actually wasn't going to be there. You don't want to get people's hopes up like that. I think we will see it as well. I'm excited to see it. I hope it's going to be there. Fingers crossed. I wonder if it's going to be a Fable reboot, or if it's going to be Fable 4 as well. That's going to be an interesting thought process. Will it be like Fable, just like Fable with no number, or like Fable with a subtitle, or will it be Fable 4? That's like the big question as well.
I think if they're going to do the reboot, it would be really interesting if there's a HD master remaster, or doing it as a remake. But it's more feasible than like Fable 4, but we'll just have to see about that. So he's kind of goes either between one of those routes or just go both. But it just would mean Fable would be released as a remaster than the remake. So
right, up next is Perfect Dark. I'm going to say no straight away for this one. It's been rebooted. Crystal Dynamics have come in to try and help fix it, try and steer the ship. As we're not getting any CGI trailers, I don't think we're going to get Perfect Dark. If we were a Perfect Dark, it'd be a CGI trailer. My gut feeling was. So the fact that we're not getting CGI trailers makes me think we're probably not going to see it. I don't think there's going to be any gameplay ready for this game quite yet. I think it's still another 2 or 3 years away, unfortunately. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a no, because I think it's only just a name drop, and there was Perfect Dark Zero, but then they just followed up with Xbox 360 ports of the first 2 Perfect Dark games, but that was almost a decade ago. So I would have to say, it's not going to happen, and it's been in development hell. So I would say, no, Perfect Dark's just not going to be perfectly there.
Avowed. I think this is our Q1 2024 game. I think this is going to be the game that comes out February, April next year. I think this is going to be the big early 2024 game for Xbox. Avowed, obviously being made by the creators of Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, Obsidian. So the basically Obsidian's take on Skyrim or like Elder Scrolls. I think this is going to be dope. And I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a big part of the show. As I said, I think it's going to be our big game for next year, or early next year anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, they got to announce Avowed. The only time it may not appear is just whether they spent too much time on either Grounded or Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2 is also a consideration, and I think it could be announced there, but this could like end up getting in the way of Avowed unless they decide to announce both of these games. It just depends if Obsidian has got enough of a workforce to work on both of these huge games, because I imagine both of them are like open world. There's unless that, with my prediction of last year, that Avowed it may have a slightly bigger world and works like Grounded, where you just have a simple open world and doesn't have a lot of the complexities as Skyrim.
Also, the thing as well, you mentioned it, is that 2022 was completely carried for Xbox by Obsidian. They brought out Grounded and they brought out Pentiment last year. But basically the two exclusive games that came to Xbox last year, smaller games, granted, but they were both made by Obsidian. So maybe Obsidian's been busy with Pentiment and Grounded. I mean, I know they're supposed to be smaller teams part of Obsidian, but you do make a good point that maybe they might have been busy with that. I hope not. I really want to see Avowed, and fingers crossed. Yeah, so. I think so. This is a big one. Hellblade 2, our God of War killer, our third-person, sad-person game, walking simulator, our PlayStation game, basically. I think it's coming this year. I think this is our fall game. Logically, I'm going to go with this as being our fall game. So we got Starfield coming in September, October being Forza, and then November, December being Hellblade 2. I think that's my logical guess, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, interesting you mentioned about Forza, because this one has been delayed. So I imagine it would probably be mentioned in the showcase as well, unless it ends up being shown at Summerfest. But mind you, this one, it hasn't been like... well, I don't know, because it was supposed to be coming out before June, but now it's been delayed again. So I wonder they're just going to like bring this out, but then people are just like really interested into the newer games. So I would imagine that people would expect Forza to have a concrete release date with a promise of no delays.
Well, Forza's been confirmed to be at the conference, and they're going to have an extended showcase a couple of days after the showcase, so I'm pretty sure. I mean, I imagine we're going to get a release date. They might do a Spider-Man where they like everyone expects it's going to be a release date, and then it just says fall, which would really annoy me. But yeah, I mean, like that was what I was thinking earlier. Because off a tangent a little bit, is that going into the PlayStation conference, every new Spider-Man was going to be there, and then literally everyone was disappointed apart from Spider-Man. This conference, we know Starfield's going to be there. But we also, we're hoping that there's going to be more than just Starfield, but that's like our only guarantee is that we're getting Starfield, really. So I'm hoping that we're not going to be having the same kind of conference as PlayStation, fingers crossed. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping Hellblade 2 is our winter game, but we'll see. I just remembered a game that's not on the list. I'll add it quickly. Boom. Stalker 2. I just added that to the list. Are we seeing that? It's been developed in Ukraine. It was supposed to be released at the beginning of last year, and then obviously all the stuff that's happened in Ukraine has obviously made it delayed. They're still working on it, but obviously they've had all these issues. Do you think we're going to see it? Do you think we'll get a release date? I'm hoping that the game is I'm hoping the game is close to being finished. But obviously, no pressure on those guys. They're living through a horrible time at the moment. What do you think?
I would say this would most likely be announced in the Summerfest, because I think there's enough information to come out of it. And I think they had really good trailers and behind-the-scenes footage. Yeah. But now I think it's just gotten to the point where it will have the release date. and there's going to be some extra bits behind the scenes, because I think we already know like what's happening, and now we're just waiting on it for it to come out.
Yeah.
So that's all I can think of.
Yeah, because as you said, like last year in the extended showcase, they showed off they didn't show off. They showed what was going on with the company who was making it, and it was really harrowing and it was really sad. It actually made me really tear up seeing seeing how like horrible things were for this company, this team. And I'm hoping they're all well and they're all safe. And the game comes secondary as long as everyone's okay there. That's like what's most important. But I would love to see the game, and I hope it does well when it does come out. And I would love it to come out this year, but I think it's probably be a 2024 game. We might see it, or we might not. I'm not sure. But yeah, our thoughts and wishes go out to the Ukraine. And yeah. Up next is State of Decay 3. This was showed in the 2020 conference. It was just a woman yelling at a deer. If you remember that trailer, it was just a deer going, bleh! And then the woman going bleh! Back to the deer. And that was literally the whole trailer. And it just said State of Decay 3 at the end. I don't think we're seeing it because they've been supporting State of Decay 2 still, and I feel like they're still working on State of Decay 2. So I think State of Decay 3 still might be a while off. What do you think?
Probably not going to happen because just a CGI trailer, I'm not going to see anything out of it. So I would have to say, yeah, it's a no-show, the showcase, not even at Summerfest. So I would say, yeah, I think we would rather wait until they can get more into it, because I think it's still a bit early for it to come out. Wasn't it one of those games that it's promised to be released before June of 2023?
It was in the I know the dog decided to wake up now. It was in the 2020 conference for CGI, but they haven't promised any dates or anything yet. So we don't know when that's coming out. We haven't really heard from it since 2020, so it might be dead for all we know. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Speaking of dead games,
it's on the nose anyway because it's a state of a decaying away.
Speaking of dead games, Everwild. Are we going to see that? Probably not. Cell shaded.
I would say it'll be on the showcase as far as I know, because I think this is a huge game and it's coming over. So, I can see the doggy there.
Hello, doggy. Hello.
There.
She's 14, like 14 a couple of weeks ago.
How's the GCSEs?
She's a mad dog. Yes, you are. I'm recording now, so go have a lay down. Okay? Good.
Sit down.
Anyway, yeah, Everwild. Everwild looks interesting. I don't know if they're going to actually release it anytime soon. I feel like that's again another game in development hell. I know she's being naughty. I'll just get her some water.
Meow.
But yeah, it's a game that's in development. Hell. So I doubt we're going to see Everwild.
Oh my gosh! Did you feed her Pepsi?
No, it was water. It's in a Pepsi bottle. It was water. Why can't I have my Pepsi? Well, what a waste. My Pepsi. No, just got water. I'm glad you pointed that out, because if people in the video are thinking I'm giving her Pepsi, then people freak out. Right, lay down now. We're trying to record. We're talking about Xbox games.
I would imagine next time she will be taking your cheeseburger off.
Yeah, probably. Lay down.
You should get a cat next.
Yeah. Nah, she's great. It's good company. You know me, I love dogs. Anyway, Outer Worlds 2. I doubt we're going to see that. I think it was just a teaser trailer when they first showed it, just to announce that it's in development. I think Avowed is their main priority.
Yes.
I think basically like Obsidian. The Bethesda announced they're making Elder Scrolls after they're making Starfield. It's like the same thing, just in reverse, I guess. Like they said, we're making Avowed first, and then we're going to make Outer Worlds 2 next time. So I think Outer Worlds, might be another 3 or 4 years away, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I would love it to see it there. It'd be amazing if we did.
I would rather want to see a failed, because if they're doing like Outer Worlds 2, I think they're clearly messing around. So I would rather not see Outer Worlds 2 to be on the showcase, to be honest.
I need to go back and finish Outer Worlds 1. I really enjoyed for what I played of it. I played about 4 or 5 hours of it. I need to go back and play it. It's like Fallout in space, and it's like a bit sillier, which is nice. It had it had a good comic tone to it. It reminds me kind of like a Futurama kind of like plots and stuff. Is really interesting. I need to go back and play it a bit more for sure. Space's Choice and stuff. It's just basically everything's advertisements. Everyone's owned by his old capitalism's took over the galaxy, and it's mad. It's hilarious though. It's definitely worth playing. Definitely worth playing Outer Worlds 1 for sure. And that is all the games that I can think of that we know of, unless you can think of any that have been announced that they haven't showed.
That's right. I don't have a lot of expectations there, so we can just move on.
So these are rumoured games. I've got a list of rumoured games. So we're up first. During the kind of funny interview with Phil Spencer that we heard a couple of weeks back, they mentioned collections and games. Now, it might have just been a slip of the tongue. He might have meant multiple games coming out, but everyone thinks that there might be some kind of remaster collection coming to Xbox. We might get a Gears collection. We might get a Fallout collection. We might get a Fable collection. Do you think we will see a HD remaster, Master Chief collection type collection for one of these franchises, or any other franchise for that matter? What do you think?
I would say Gears is the most likely one. And if they were to remaster it in like Unreal Engine 5 for all
that'd be pretty.
4 or 5 Gears titles, if they can do that, that would be a huge one, I have to admit.
Because they've released 4 of them. So there's the 5th one's just come out on Xbox recently. So I imagine they wouldn't remaster the latest one. So I imagine it'd be the first 4. Or maybe they might be the 360 trilogy, which is 1, 2, and 3. Either way, that would be sick. If it was the Marcus Phoenix collection in the same vein as like the Master Chief collection, I think that would be dope. I would play the shit out of that. I love Gears of War. Gears of War is the reason I bought Xbox 360 was because of Gears of War, the original one. I love that game. I
would say
I also think a Fable collection would be good. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the Fable collection might be more feasible than Fallout, because bear in mind, there's only like Fallout 1 and 2, which are like 2D games, and I think it would have to be in just in like only a ported out form, because you have to take into account there's Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. But then if you have to count for New Vegas as well, so maybe the remastered collection of it could only cover Fallouts 3, 4, and New Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, we know 4's getting remastered. I should have mentioned that in the things we knew section, actually. So I'm sorry about that. And that's what I should have remembered. Yeah, we know Fallout 4 is getting a Series X/Series S ports coming soon. I think that even might get shadow drop. That might be my bet. If we're going to bet on a shadow drop, I think that might be it. They might go Fallout 4 remastered is now available on Series X from today. That would be sick. But yeah, I think Fable collection would make the most sense, because those games were on 360, so they're 2 generations old, and it's kind of been a dead franchise for the last decade, and they want people to be excited for the new one. So what better way to get people excited for a new Fable than giving them the old Fables back with like remastered textures and remastered gameplay and stuff? Maybe fix some of the problems in Fable 3. And a lot of people love Fable 1, so making a new Fable 1 and 2 and 3 would be fantastic. I think that'd be a really good idea, personally. Gears collection would be great. I think a Fallout collection would also be great, but I think it's more likely we're just going to get we already know we're getting Fallout 4 remastered, so probably that's more likely just to get that. But yeah, I'm excited for some kind of collection. It'll probably be something really weird now, some weird collection that we've never even thought of, like Banjo-Kazooie remaster collection, or I was trying to think of that really. was trying to think of that party game that was on the Xbox. I can't remember what it's called now.
Do you mean Fusion Frenzy?
Fusion Frenzy, yeah. Fusion Frenzy remastered.
Not going to happen because the first one is the only original one, whilst the sequel is made by Huston Soft. So unless Huston Soft comes over to remaster the first two games, which I don't really see that happen unless it gets bombed with bad scores, then we're not going to see Fusion Frenzy being remastered.
No,
and same could
I'm
be said
joking.
with Blinks, where the developers have moved on. And there's only like 2 games, so it's a bit of a waste.
I had one in my head then, and it's just gone now. What was it going to be? Links. I can't remember now. It's funny. It's fine. But yeah, it'd be a fun thing to see some remasters. We'll see. I doubt it though. So next up, the Halo Tatanka, aka Halo Battle Royale. We're going to see that. That's been rumored for a while. We're going to see the Halo Battle Royale.
Well, I know about this, and the campaign DLC is not going to happen anytime soon. So we could see that, the Battle Royale, or it could be the Certain Infinity would have to shelve it in order to help out with the Halo Infinite, because it needs to be able to have, they need to work on the some of the issues with it, create more maps for it, just to give it more content. And I think that Halo Infinite is just going to resort to being one that's going to have more maps and cosmetics in. But so far, they're already bringing out new equipment and weapons there, but I think it's still in the state where this game is being sorted out, so they have to wait until they can get the Battle Royale out, which I imagine is going to be made in Unreal Engine, which is why it's taking a long time for it to come out.
Yeah, I mean that's the rumors. They're trying to move Halo over to Unreal because the Slipspace engine they're not a fan of it, and they think it's a bit too hard to work on, which would be interesting. But I don't like the idea of moving the entire game to a whole new engine. I feel like that's just asking for trouble, We'll have to see what happens with that. I think it'd be interesting to have a Battle Royale, but I feel like the Battle Royale the Battle Royale fad is kind of dying out now. Fortnite was the big one, and you got PUBG and stuff. But I feel like it's kind of dying out. I think it's the new fad is what it's called now. Is it infiltration shooters or something? That's what Marathon's going to be. I think that's the next phase in the next fad for shooting games. I don't think Battle Royale's the hot thing anymore. So I think they kind of missed the boat with that, personally. So we'll see, personally. Gear 6. We're going to see Gear 6. We don't know what the coalition are working on. I think that might be worth mentioning. I think that might be a good. And one more thing, right at the end of the conference, end with a big game reveal like Gear 6. I think would be a big reveal. Also, I know you've never really played Gears. Gears 5 lands on a cliffhanger, so they need to make a Gear 6 for sure. So there's definitely a development, but we don't know how far in development it is. It might still be another 3 or 4 years off for all we know.
I feel it's more likely because Unreal Engine 5 has been out for some time, and I think it's about time that if Gears is a huge franchise, it should get an Unreal Engine 5 treatment, which means we could get Gears of War 6 coming out very, very soon. I mean, I think to be honest, with the Gears 5 still being supported and still bringing the players in, I think it's just going to end up making it happen. But it could be announced alongside the remastered collection of Gears of War. So I think it just really depends.
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. And also, you said about Gears of War 5. We had Hivebusters. This is pretty much a launch title for the Series S and X. It was towards the beginning of the console cycle. And then obviously Gears 5 Remastered was pretty much, again, a launch title for the Xbox. So it was it's funny because no one counts it as a launch title because they didn't sell it in a box because it wasn't called Gears of War 5 remastered or like director's cut, like PlayStation does, no one really counted it, but it was essentially a director's cut. You had like all the extra content. You had 4K visuals, ray tracing, higher frame rate. Game was gorgeous, and they like remastered it completely. Gears of War 5. So yeah, we've been waiting a while since the launch of the Xbox Series for new Gears. I mean, Gears 5 was out before the series came out as well. So I mean, but the remastered one was the last thing we've really seen. I think Gears 6 would be an interesting announcement for sure. But again, it's one of those ones I thought if we saw it, I thought we'd see a CGI trailer. And the fact that they said there's no CGI trailers makes me second guess that. So I'm a bit unsure. Okay, next up, Quake reboot. Are we getting Quake? People who made Doom, the rumors are we're getting Quake. I think we might get Quake at QuakeCon though, or they might just show something short here and then have Quake, and then have like full gameplay reveal at QuakeCon, like at the end of the trailer. Maybe that might be the thing. I don't know. I think that is something they're working on, but maybe it might be a QuakeCon announcement because Quake being QuakeCon makes sense.
I would say that because they're already like launched support of Quake, I think they're not going to end up rushing in to do the reboot of it. So, yeah. But then if they're going to do a reboot of it, it has to be entirely different compared to Quake and focus on the sci-fi aspects of like Quake's 2 and 4. Yeah.
Definitely. I would look forward to a new Quake game, though. I hope that my crazy predictions we did last week, I said about Hexen. I would love to see a new Hexen game, but they don't have the rights to Hexen yet. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see it. I don't think we will see it, but I would be intrigued to see it. As I said, I think if there is a new Quake, it's going to be revealed at QuakeCon. That's my logic, anyway. So I don't think they would show it in this conference, personally. My personal opinion. Okay. Wolfenstein 3. So we know Machine Games are making the Indiana Jones. It depends if they have a second team working on Wolfenstein 3, basically. They did say Wolfenstein 3 was in development, but that was ages ago. That was before the Xbox acquisition. That was before Indiana Jones was announced. So I don't know, honestly. I think it's about time we get it, but is it even in development is the question.
I'm going to have to say don't see that happening. And if anything, it's more likely the Indiana Jones would probably come out first because it was announced.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that, unfortunately. But I would love a new Wolfenstein. That game is so cool. Now, your favorite Xbox One game getting a new version, new Killer Instinct. For Xbox, do we see it? I think there's been rumors to go around that Phil wants this game to be made. He wants to do Killer Instinct, but they've had issues trying to find the team to make it. That's the big issue. But have they found this team? Is there actually someone who's been working on it in secret?
Yeah, because I think it's because the original team for making Killer Instinct has left and had like BlackRock Studios working on it. So they've been like, I think they've been like trying to maintain Killer Instinct and turn this into an absolute definitive edition. But the rumors circling around it that the new Killer Instinct is announced and it could be coming out on Xbox Series X, because I got an arcade stick for it, which came with Killer Instinct. So I'm going to have to say that I would love to see that happen, and that would be great. But then it just depends if it's going to be like very similar to the 2013 game. So I just would have to say, yeah, I think if it's anything like that, then I will be really pleased and I love for it to come out.
Could you imagine Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Killer Instinct all coming out in the same year? That would be absolutely nuts. Could you imagine that? Oh my God. And I've said it multiple times. I feel like it should be Killer Instinct versus Xbox and have like a load more crossover characters. There's a couple of crossover characters in the original Killer Instinct, but more. I want more. I want Senua. I want Marcus Phoenix. I want Banjo. I want Forza Car. I want all the crazy stuff in there in this Killer Instinct crossover.
Well, funny you mentioned about the Forza car, because in the original Fighters Mega Mix for the Sega Saturn, you know Daytona USA, You have a Hornet as a playable character, and that was like pretty nuts.
That's why I was thinking you could do that. But in my head, right, because this is like my conspiracy theory, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but that's what I think they should do, is they don't have a crossover fighter. What they should do is have basically Marvel versus Capcom, but have it as Killer Instinct versus Xbox.
Yes.
You have all the Killer Instinct characters, and then you have a load of Xbox characters. It's like crossover characters. I think that would be sick. So it'd be like Super Smash Brothers, but it would be like Marvel versus Capcom. I think that would be dope.
I would say I would like to see a tag team version of it too, because
that'd be sick.
Because I think there hasn't been enough tag team games, and I feel that Killer Instinct flavor of it. Now that would actually shake things up, and I would rather see this happening more than a sequel to Killer Instinct 2013. There's 1 versus 1 thing.
Yeah, Phil, if you're listening, make this game. Make it happen, Phil Spencer. Make it happen. This be my dream game. I would love to see Banjo-Kazooie getting his ass kicked. Okay. Fallout New Vegas 2. This has been heavily rumored that they've wanted Obsidian to make this. Obsidian are already making 2 massive open world games, Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed. Surely they can't be making a 3rd. Or is someone else making it? Like, the rumor is that this game might be happening. Is Xbox really going to sit on the Fallout IP for another 10 years before Todd Howard's getting around to making another one? I feel like they've got to make one, but it'll
probably be shelved, because I think it's been rumored a lot. But mind you, the Fallout New Vegas is really popular with some communities, including trans people. Yeah. They love playing New Vegas. And I think New Vegas 2 is just going to be much tipped. But as much as I thought it would be really fun to see it come in, I just don't think it will happen straight away, because Obsidian has already got too much on their plate with the 2 huge open world games.
Like the only thing I can think is maybe either In Exile takes over, which is like the people who originally made Fallout, which would be insane to think. That would be crazy. Or they spin off another team who's make it, which would be great. But as I said, like Todd Howard's already gone. We're making Starfield now, and then next up is Elder Scrolls, and then after that is Fallout. And it's taken them like 5 or 6 years to make each game. So literally the next Fallout game will be like, 2035, 2036? If we wait for Todd Howard to make one, surely there's got to be a fitter in one at some point. Plus they're making a Fallout TV show. That's coming up soon. So surely they want to kind of make the franchise as big as possibly can, with, and then obviously we get the Fallout 4 remaster at some point as well. But we need a new Fallout game at some point. But yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to get... I think New Vegas 2 or a new Fallout will happen at some point. I don't know if it's this year, though. I think it might be another year or so off until we hear about it. But we think we will have to, because I can't see Xbox waiting 10 years to make a new Fallout game. I just can't see it. It's such a big IP, and it makes so much money. I can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Can we move on?
Yep. Evil Within 3. Tango Games Works just released Hi-Fi Rush. Evil Within 3 was teased in Hi-Fi Rush. It was like a little teaser, but I think that was just a bit of fun. Shinji Mikami I think it's Shinji Mikami. Have I got the right name? Yeah. The creator of Evil Within left Tango Gameworks. And yeah, I don't think it's coming this year. I think it might come next year. So we might see like a teaser trailer, like a short trailer for it, maybe announced in the next year. But I don't think it's coming this year, because Hi-Fi Rush was like the top priority of Tango, even though it was a smaller team. But what do you think?
I think if anything, Evil Within is probably going to come out, be announced next year, because I think it's a bit too early for it to be announced. But I can see there's already at least one teaser or hint in Hi-Fi Rush. But I would have to say that it's going to be a while before Evil Within 3 is going to come out, this year, for instance, because I mean, if it gets name dropped, then that's interesting. Yeah. But otherwise, it's just going to be just wait until it just gets more complete for it to be announced.
Yeah, the only thing I could say is that survival horror is so hot right now. Like, it's so hot right now. But this is like Resident Evil 4, Dead Space, Silent Hill, Alan Wake 2. It's the big genre at the moment. Everyone seems to love horror games. I feel like Xbox having their own horror franchise is like, it would be good for business. I think it makes sense. But yeah, I think it's still a little while off because, as I said, Hi-Fi Rush has been their priority. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Right, the last game on the list is: do you think we will see a brand new Banjo-Kazooie? Ho ho!
I'd love to see it happening because I know we got like 2 Banjo-Kazooie games, and then there's like Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Although they're not developed by Rare, but I think it just kind of went off before Rare decided to work on like unique franchises. So I'm going to have to say that it would be great if Double Fine were to like develop it. Kind of takes the load off like Rare. But I would say I would absolutely love for it to happen. I have yet to fully complete the first Banjo-Kazooie games. But honestly, I just still think that I would love for them to be announced in some way or other, but then again, it's only a bit of a pipe dream. So I would say that, we're definitely not going to see Conker game to come out unless it comes out as a huge announcement. But bear in mind that the teams for Conker and Banjo-Kazooie are pretty much at each other's necks. So I don't think they will be like helping each other. But I think
I like Conker.
Yeah, it's just like
I absolutely adore Conker. I think Conker works in like a Deadpool kind of way. If you wanted like a Deadpool type character for Xbox, Conker works really well. Banjo-Kazooie, I feel like Xbox knows that people want this franchise. Xbox knows that like it's a big deal to people. When they was revealed for Super Smash Bros., everyone lost their mind when Banjo-Kazooie was announced for Smash Bros. If you go to people, what's the best platformer on the N64? A lot of people say Super Mario 64, which I'm one of those people who'd say that. But then a lot of other people say Banjo-Kazooie. Like, it's up there with Mario 64 as one of the greatest 3D platformers of all time. They've got this IP that is so beloved, and so many people want to see a new Banjo-Kazooie. I feel like they're wasting potential here. I feel like someone's got to be working on it. I don't know who, but there's got to be a team out there who wants to work on this Banjo-Kazooie game and wants to have their name attached to it and wants to develop it, surely. It's such a beloved franchise. And hopefully they get Grant Copeland back in and all that, and it's proper if they do it. And I got my fingers crossed. Give it to a third party or something. I know there's so many people who would be willing to make it. I'll make it. Me and you, we got games.
No.
Let's go make Banjo. Let's make a new Banjo for Xbox. Xbox, call us.
No, I mean the only people who will be doing this are those who made fans games. Like there's a fan remaster of Banjo-Kazooie who did all this art, so they'll be the ones that Microsoft should be reaching out to, not us. But as you were saying about developers, I would have to say that I think the Rooster Teeth games get the achievement Hunter team getting over, because I know Michael James is like a huge fan of it.
Mogar. Lindsay Jones is like dressed up as a Kazooie. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, no. I was going to say now. Yeah, you obviously you have the ukulele team as well, who basically are all ex-devs of Banjo-Kazooie. If they can get the ukulele team on board,
Playtronic,
do you want to do Banjo?
Yeah, it's Playtronic.
So do you actually want to make? Do you actually want to make a Banjo game instead of making a knockoff of Banjo? You know, like, we have the rights. Do you want to make it a proper one? I would be cool with it. I think Banjo has to be in the works. It has to be, because it's such a beloved franchise. I can't just let them see it dying forever. There has to be one at some point. When? I don't know. It might not be shown this year. It might not be shown next year. It might not be shown the year after. But I feel like it makes so much sense to make one. It's such a beloved franchise, and it'd be good kid-friendly game as well. But there you go. It's one of those things. Yeah. And finally, the final question, which isn't a gaming, well, it is kind of a gaming question. Do you think we will see new hardware, a Series Y or a Series Z, or the Keystone, or a handheld? Do you think we're going to see anything from Xbox which is new hardware?
One sentence. Ooh. Xbox handheld, or get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I want an Xbox handheld. I would buy one. Like, everyone goes, oh, the Q-Lite's a terrible design. It's like, yeah, the Q-Lite is awful, but if Xbox made their own version of the Q-Lite, and you can also cloud stream games, so you don't have to have an Xbox to play games, you can also play games from the cloud, I would buy one.
I would absolutely...
That's the main problem with the Q-Lite is you need a PS5.
I would absolutely buy one that is like PS Vita, because they do work on its own. So no touchscreen gimmick, no disc drive gimmick, just get all the indie games and Xbox One games on it, and you have yourselves a complete handheld. Easy. Just have Vampire Survivors, that's all you need. Just Vampire Survivors on there, and everything else is cloud stream. Bear in mind that there's a Steam Deck, and this one is like really huge. So I would have to say that Microsoft could be bringing out their competitor, but I think it would be really nice that also works as a shadow drop, that Steam Deck will probably have compatibility with the Game Pass, because they wanted to get Game Pass on Steam Deck, which at the moment Microsoft couldn't get that arranged unless they can like get people to install Windows on their Steam Deck, which is probably not going to be the best solution. So, but if Microsoft were to be able to perk themselves up by putting Game Pass on Steam Deck, or even on Nintendo Switch, that would be a huge killer. Could you imagine if they had cloud streaming Xbox Game Pass on the Switch? That would, like, people who want to play Xbox games would have access to Xbox games all of a sudden. That'd be insane. That'd be so cool. Yeah. I doubt it'll happen though, but that'd be so cool. I would love that. Right, so that's all the games that have been rumored, all the games we know. There's probably stuff I've missed. I don't know if you've any you can think of, but those, I think that's all the list I could come up with. Final question before we move on to the end of this. Do you think we will have any shadow drops? Do you think the conference is going to start and they go, and you can play this right now to anything? I think for me, Fallout 4 Remastered is probably the most likely shadow drop of the day. I personally think, but what do you think? There will be a shadow drop. Just like with the developer direct, just like a Xbox 20th anniversary when they announced Halo Infinite is releasing the multiplayer beta. That's true. And there's even GoldenEye. So they love doing shadow drops, and I feel they're going to do shadow drops and doing the showcase. I can guarantee you that. But I think it's either going to be a port of a game, or it's going to be a unknown game that's going to be shadow dropped. Because Hi-Fi Rush, that's a huge game, and it also came out on the PC too. So yeah, it's a win. Yeah. Diablo 4 is now on Game Pass. I'm like, I just bought it. What are you doing? I didn't buy it, cool. So might be in. I get it now. Yeah, that's right. No, but like the Activision deal has been completed, so we are shadow dropping every single Activision game ever made. If the CMA, happen, but that'd be sick. If they can go through the CMA stuff, which in the moment they're just pretty much up in arms, and we don't know about the FMA whether they're gonna, FTC, I think, whether they would accept the deal too. So we have to find out. They could pretty much get the deal through, or just ignore the CMA. That's what I was about to say. How sad would you be if they go, Xbox are officially releasing all the Activision games on Game Pass today, unless you live in the UK. Sorry. Like, I'm like, no! Why is CMA, you bastards? Makes me want to move out of the country, to be honest. It does. I might move out the country with NordVPN. Not sponsored, just bringing that up. Right. So, before we move on to your final question, one last thing. How hyped are you for this conference from a scale of 1 to 10? 5. How excited? 5? That's quite low.
Jesus. I would say 9, 8 or 9 for me. I would say 8 or 9. I want to say 10, but I don't want to be like one of those PlayStation fans. So like, this is going to be the best thing ever, and then all they see is Spider-Man, and it didn't even have a release date. I don't want to get my hopes up too high and then go to the showcase and be depressed. Like, I don't want to be going, this is going to be a 10 out of 10 show, and then Foam Stars shows up again. I'm like, no, Foam Stars! So I'm going to say 8 or 9. It should be a 10, but I'm wary just in case, because PlayStation looked like they were going to hit it out the park, and they completely botched it. So I'm hoping Xbox isn't going to botch it. I feel like just showing Starfield's going to be enough for me. Is it going to be a good conference, even if everything else is rubbish? To be honest,
I think the Pebbles wants to say about 7.
Yeah, what you think out of 10? Yeah. Oh yeah. Silly dog. But yeah, I would say 8 or 9 for me. I said it would be a 10 if it wasn't for our PlayStation conference making me think that, shaking my confidence that they might mess it up. Yeah, so that's it for the topic of the show. Let us know in the comments below. Are you excited for the Xbox conference? I am. Or are you like Alice? You were 5 out of 10.
Now, to ask you the last question, I have a question for you, Chief.
Final question. Yeah.
So,
final question.
Now, I think I haven't actually been thinking about it because last week is pretty much perfect for me. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, I think you have been like really open-minded and said so many things about it. And I think we're already going through like so much. So I'm going to ask, do you believe there should be an Xbox game for your dog there?
An Xbox game for my dog? Sure, why not? How would she play it? Like, so you're saying that, like, this is the question. Okay, so would we have like an adaptive controller, a doggy controller, like a chew toy or something, and like changes what's going on the screen? She always watches me play Xbox. I think she likes just watching me play. But yeah, she can watch. If there's a game for her, I don't know what it would be. What would you want to play? What would you want to play? What game would you like to play? What game would you like to play? Oh, choking on a fable. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. Dog adaptive game. I'd be totally down for that. Why not? I love dogs. You cover this every week. They're like, I prefer dogs to people most of the time. So yeah, I would.
I am a cat person.
Yeah, I can tell. Only subtle really? I could never guess.
Well, mind you,
cats are cool too.
I've been over like 5 years without the cat because my cat died in 2017. But to be honest, I'm not in a position to get a new cat, so it's just like, me.
Yeah, she's 14, so I've had her for years.
My cat died when she was 14.
Oh wow.
So
listen, furious. But yeah, yes, if they made games for dogs and for cats and for animals, I don't know how you would do it. I would totally buy that for her. I'd buy an Xbox. Yes, I would.
There's a game for cats on the iPad, which you can, I don't know if you can still get, but that was like years ago. I tried to get my cat.
The mouse. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
I tried to get my late cat to play it, but she doesn't seem to be interested. Also, my parents don't want her scratching their iPad.
That makes sense. Yeah. Fruit Ninja, make like a Fruit Ninja clone for dogs or like for cats.
I think they would rather like see the laser pointer on the screen or have birds on it. Yes, so I think they're the ones who prefer YouTube instead of like games, to be honest.
I mean, Pebbles is kind of chilled out though. She's 14. She's good just sleeping. I think she just prefers to have a nap. I don't blame you. I like having a nap too. So yeah, I think that's it for this week's podcast. I guess that was a fun one. I really enjoyed that. Next week. Okay, so the 11th of June, I think that's when is the conference. Pretty sure it's the 11th of June. We will be doing our reactions. We will be posting them within about hopefully 10, 15 minutes after the show finishes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some reactions up. We're not going to be doing them live because we're still quite a small channel and it's a lot more manpower to do it live, right? I assume we're not doing it live, right?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be really interesting though. So, and I could have a new stand because you can now see my microphone. I might probably hold it like this to like do the reaction with, but I don't know. I probably need a desk stand for it. So, but I think it's not going to happen before the reaction comes. So, but 11th of June. Hopefully, nothing gets in the way. But we would have so much to talk through, and I think this is going to mean like lots of more podcast episodes. But bear in mind, our podcast is going to run over 1.5 hours, and this is quite a stretch since my Mac crashed while recording it. But who knows? I hope everything is all lined up for us to record our reactions. So computers and internet, annoying things, la-di-da.
Yeah. So go watch the reaction. Go watch the press conference live from Xbox or whoever you want to watch it. If you want to watch it live with like Kind of Funny or whatever, or any of those people, and then come and watch our reactions afterwards, so you can see how we reacted to everything. And if you can see if you agree with us or disagree with us, and we'll also have highlights of the best things that happened. So when Killer Instinct 2 comes out and we both lose our minds, that's going to be a highlighted clip, and it's going to have a picture of us going like that on the thumbnail. But yeah, really looking forward to this conference. As I said, I'm really excited for it. You will get to see our full reactions, uncut, unfiltered, and then we'll also have cut down, filtered versions of them as well. And we'll probably have some shorts known as well.
Now, I can also confirm that we'll be using this new layout to watch this whole thing. And I did the copyright music, otherwise you hear his gravelly voice. But yeah, so this is basically what we got ready for the Xbox Showcase, and it will happen soon. But I don't know if you agree with this watermark or some sort. I don't know if you could see it. But then...
I can't.
So I would say, who knows? We'll just have to see in June 11th, and hopefully we'll be sound.
We're very excited for this show. I'm very excited as well. And it's just like, so just make sure you tune in after the show and see our reactions. We will be doing our full reactions. We'll probably break down the show briefly afterwards as well. And then we got our full podcast as per usual on Thursday. Oh my God, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's like Christmas Day. I'm so excited. I'm like a big kid. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Especially if they drop Fallout 4 Remastered on day, which is what I think is going to happen. I'm going to lose my mind. It's going to be so good. Oh, yeah. Starfield, bring it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Are you guys excited? Let us know in the comments below. Scale of 1 to 10, how excited you are. Comment, like, subscribe. Help us beat the PlayStation people on their podcast. Help us beat it in PSP Trust. Let's try and get to 200 subscribers before them. And we love those guys, but yeah, we want to beat them. Xbox.
Anyway, we're just now going to have to wrap up. So thank you for listening to this. And I hope you enjoy this episode, because we find that usually all the stuff around the showcase tend to like attract more views as much as a Activision deal. So if you enjoy it, please like and also subscribe for more news. So thank you so much for listening to us. Until then, bye.
Hey. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at xmarksbox on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.